Hi, everyone, and welcome to the TechNet Show. So, we have a lot of news today, so let's get started. So, our first bit of news, let's talk about Halo 4. What do you think about Halo 4?
It's alright. I mean,
Oh, come on.
gameplay-wise, it was nice.
Yeah, I think so too. But it is currently live on test flight for PC at the moment. So if you guys are a Halo Insider program, I'm sorry, that's what it's
Yeah,
called.
that one.
You can access Halo 4 on PC right now. Honestly, I think that Halo 4 is a very good game that actually holds up to today's standards.
Oh yeah. If we're talking like spec-wise and even gameplay-wise, I mean, it pretty much you can tell. Well, you can argue it still has that modern modern game vibe.
I think that's a very good game. So, anyway, more Microsoft news. The day has come. Microsoft is now.
Everywhere.
They now have a Linux client for Microsoft Edge, which is pretty neat. Which is, well, I mean, it's Chrome basically, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Development must have been easy for them. So I suppose that's just their next logical step in their empire of Edge.
You can't be your own thing, be in everything.
Edge is a pretty decent browser. I'm using it right now, and I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it. You're sending your data to someone else other than Google.
You're sending some of it to Google, and then the rest might not.
I guess some of it. But that also leads me to the next topic. Jared, you want to start the big one?
Oh, sure. So the other day has finally come. Definitely not as bright of a day. Google's been hit. I'm assuming it's antitrust lawsuit? It's like an every other day thing for them anyway. But this time they're getting hit by the U.S. government.
Yeah, and this time they're also getting hit where it hurts. There's search, which is something that's pretty interesting. Honestly, search is the only real place where I see Google having a lot of trouble fighting because they hold such a firm grip on the ad market of the internet that it's difficult to argue against it. But at the same time, what can you really do about this? It's an empire. How do you take this apart? How do you limit them? Where do you draw the line?
How do you take this out? Because, I mean, yeah, the search functions and the AdSense and all that is pretty much the heart and soul of Google itself. Yeah. You take that out, you pretty much, like, cripple, like, literally Google. Everything. Like,
so, yeah, honestly, you can't... There's no real way to split a company like that. Well, no real good way of doing it. There's just too many, like, ways that they integrate with each other, how they use data in order to bolster the other. I just saw a fly right across my lens. But yeah, it's just way too integrated for you to split stuff up. I don't know how they're going to do it. Putting limitations on Google, maybe regulating them in a way of, okay, you need to pay this much money for ads. That you can only use ads in these certain ways. I mean, I suppose that limiting it like that is a way that you could get around this issue, but other than that, I don't think that there's another good way of doing this.
Yeah, pretty sure there's no outcome where it's not gonna hurt a pretty good amount. It's just a matter of how much it's gonna hurt. That's gonna be what it's gonna be interesting to see coming out of this whole antitrust.
There's also the possibility of this going way beyond Google and to like every other industry out there. Everyone uses ads. No one's exempt from something like this. We'll see how this works out.
Definitely keeping an eye on that one.
Moving on, let's talk about Adobe Max. So Adobe had their event today. Today, tomorrow, and I think the next day, they're having this event. So they really showed off new features, AI-focused features of Photoshop, Premiere, Rush, and Illustrator. I don't know much about Illustrator, so I'm not going to talk much about it. But in Photoshop, now this is some impressive stuff. There are some AI based stuff that already do this type of thing, but now that's integrated into Photoshop, I think that this type of feature set will really start to move up. One of the things is neutral filters. So is Adobe Sensei is basically their AI platform. So it's basically non-destructive filters that, well, it's filters. We all know what filters are, but it's very selective filters. It only selects like the background or the foreground. It allows you to be very intelligent with how you want to make your photos. Another Photoshop thing that they added was sky replacement. You can replace your sky with something pretty, even though it
Whoa.
might look a bit unnatural.
Go
Yeah.
extra vibrant or post-apocalyptic. The choices are yours.
Though that's the biggest things I saw. You can also get live captioning in Premiere now, so you don't have to waste your time writing out your captions anymore. You could let Adobe do it and make sure they don't make any mistakes. So that's a good thing because, well, I mean, AI still makes mistakes. There's going to be one or two, and you're going to be called stupid because you don't look through your stuff. So look through your stuff, guys, before you post it.
Look through everything. Save every
Yeah.
second. That might be unrelated, but still important.
I mean, that's something that we could probably learn ourselves, but
Yeah.
who takes their own advice, right?
Very true.
So our next bit of news has to do with the PS5. So they're also doing something a bit more intelligently too. They are going to be using unique fan profiles for every single game that, well, wants to. What they're going to be doing is there's going to be updates for games that want to use this feature that allow them to control the fan curves, tell the system when they want to have higher fan speeds, when they want lower fan speeds. I can see a lot of advantages to this. First of all, system noise. Maybe there's some parts of a game that want to be very quiet. Like, think of a horror game, and when you want that dead silence, maybe they'll put a very low fan curve on that one. Might make the system get a bit hotter, but for the sake of being quiet, maybe it's a worthwhile sacrifice. Another way I can see this happening is them being able to ramp up the fans prematurely in order to, well, if a cutscene is coming up that has like a lot of stuff going on, maybe you want to keep it cool before it hits that cutscene so it doesn't thermal throttle itself. So I can see a lot of different ways that game developers can use this technology. Anyway, you want to take the next topic, Jared?
So, switching gears from the PS5 back over to Microsoft, was it? While they are broadening their horizons with their introduction of Edge to Linux, they're also cramming in more things into their copy of Windows 10. You know, Microsoft tampering with people's Windows doesn't seem to be anything new. And as ultimately, it's a kind of a small thing, but there was at least one person who has noticed that after an abrupt restart, have come to find out that the web apps for all things Microsoft Office has suddenly made an appearance in their system, hanging out very promptly in their start menu.
It's pretty unfortunate. I mean, you'd think that Microsoft would learn their lesson about this, but they haven't. And I really want Microsoft to do better. I want them to become a more consumer-oriented company. They have been making great strides toward that lately with, well, on their Xbox division with Game Pass, their financing options, all that stuff, great stuff. But Windows seems to be that weird straggler in which like just can't seem to do the right thing.
They always seem to be like, yeah, trying to really just push the boundaries when it comes to whatever they can throw in to their copies of Windows 10.
Yeah, I don't really see why they do that. I wish that they would do better. I want them to be better. I want Microsoft to succeed because when Microsoft succeeds, the entire industry gets better. I'm not saying that they are the entire industry. I'm just saying that when a company gets better, it forces their competitors to become better too.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I want Microsoft to get better so Apple gets better. And yeah. And I also wish them good luck in their mobile endeavors, seeing the fact that their Surface Duo didn't really seem to go that well. Anyway, on the non-consumer side, I don't think that I put this in the notes, but Microsoft made a mobile data center. I think this is pretty neat. So one of their big clients for this is Starlink, Elon Musk's company, which is their
One of
satellite.
Elon Musk's.
Oh yeah, one of his many companies. So it's the one that is striving to give worldwide access to internet via satellites. So what this mobile data center basically is basically a shipping crate that has a data center inside of it,
Oh.
which I think is pretty neat. That's basically deployable anywhere throughout the world. One of the use cases that they say is for humanitarian endeavors in which something happens, hurricane, pandemic, who knows, and they could just plop a data center anywhere they want in the world. I think that's a pretty neat thing. Data
pretty
centers
cool.
are important.
Yeah, and now they're mobile.
Microsoft seems to be doing a lot of weird things with data centers recently. I mean, with their underwater one, and now their
their mobile one.
mobile one, they're doing a lot of stuff with it.
Well, they are teamed up with Starlink, so I'm assuming data centers are already in space. Is that a thing?
That's true. I mean, that's still Elon Musk's ones.
No, yeah.
And I'd assume that's not really more data centers, but rather transmitters and receivers, but I could be wrong on that one.
There we go. We've covered the good, the bad, and the weird of Microsoft.
Microsoft is doing a lot of things, and I really hope that Google doesn't get completely killed by whatever the US government is doing with them right now.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a wild ride.
But anyway, yeah, I really do enjoy Google stuff, and I hope that they're able to continue moving forward after this lawsuit. But if this lawsuit is able to give Google a bit more privacy controls, that would be great. I would be very happy about that because that's my one and only irk when it comes to Google. I wish that they would give me more control of my data.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
I understand that data is important for Google to operate. I just want to be able to control a bit more of my data. I mean, I don't mind giving them some data. I just don't want to give them all.
Let's pick and choose which data we want to send. If we want to send all, then we can send all. If we just want to send some, then we can send some. If we want to be off the grid, I mean, those people probably already are. But, you know.
Speaking of being off the grid, it looks like it's time for us to go off the grid. So I guess we will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below how you like this video, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.
See ya.